Welcome, punters, to another episode of the Whispers Racing podcast. As always, I'm joined by Matty for season 2. How are you, Matty?
Going well, Worm. How are you, mate? Happy New Year.
Yeah, Happy New Year to you. You must have thought I was going like a busted, so you thought you'd jump on.
Well, I gave you the first week off and, well, let's say house on fire. And, look, I think everyone had a bit of a tougher week last week, but they do happen.
Yeah, they certainly do. But what can you do? Season 2, it's good to be back. I'm surprised we haven't been booed off, kicked off, fined. We've broken a few rules here and there, but no, good to be back for season 2. Hey, hopefully more winners and bigger winners to come.
Absolutely. That was a good year. Good year. We finished the year off well with the pineapple as well. Looking forward to reviewing that.
Yep, good segue into last week. You did well, Matty. You found She Dances, and I was Krispy Kreme Donuts.
Yeah, look, She Dances was a really good win. Look, what's nice is when races actually work out how you assess them. Linda was brilliant out of the gates, popped them from gate 1, and after that I thought it was a fairly easy watch. What I thought she did brilliantly on the corner, though, was she gave it a little bit of room off the barriers, and then close that gap so no horse could get up the inside. And that's what I thought she did brilliantly. But as I said, a really easy watch for She Dances.
Yeah, it was really good. Yeah, I can't. Yeah, disappointing, especially the SP being $1.40. Kicked everyone out of a multi, I reckon. It would have been 90% close to be, I would have thought. You just got to trust the SP, I reckon. It just had a bad day, hot weather. I don't like betting into hot weather days. I'd like to wait to the last minute to see if the horse is okay. But there was no indication pre-parade there was anything wrong. So, yeah, I think it's just pulled up badly. Hopefully for a spell and we see it come back because I think it's got some talent.
Yeah, indeed. I think we'll definitely see the best of it once it does have a bit of a spell. River Noir. This is one you've tipped us into previously. This one sat 3 wide the entire trip. You don't generally see them win this way at the Valley. How did you assess it?
Yep, still dirty that I didn't follow through, especially She Dance was the race before. Am I correct from memory?
Off the top of my head, let's go with it.
Or was River first? Well, either way, whatever horse won first, you should have just followed in. And yes. I should have followed
River won first. Yes.
Yeah, I should have followed in. Obviously, didn't handle the Valley didn't handle Flemington straight. Maybe it was a sit and sprint. Should have followed up. I got scared of the other favourite in the race that can't think of its name, but yeah, it was dirty. Maybe we should call this the Next Start podcast because a lot of horses we backed. Last start.
I picked Nick and River Noir. They both started about the same SP. So, an interesting one. And I think you landed on a really good point too about following some of these horses up. We saw it even in the Melbourne Cup with Gold Trip. If no one could back it off, it's Cox Plate form. But then if you go back one start and even going back to its European form, it was a class above them. And if you stuck with it, you obviously got rewarded.
Yeah, and I think that's where weights come into play. A lot of people play weights as a factor. Some people don't play them as a factor. It's however you want to play it. There's no right and wrong. They've got a top weight. They're number one for a reason because they're a good horse in the ratings. So, yeah, it's a good point you make. The last race at the Valley, yeah?
Yeah, last race, Kiwasha. Now, I don't know about you, but I was already walking to the bookmakers at the top of the straight, at the 300, 200, 100, 50, even after that crossed the finishing line, I thought I had it. And then, was it Dazzling Lucy? I think pipped it by an absolute nostril. So that's how I finished my race day at Moonee Valley. I think you were on Kiwasha as well, weren't you?
Yeah, so Dazzling Lucy was a trial tracker. So if anyone followed that one in from last start to this start, you would have cleaned up. Next Start podcast. So we're renaming it the Next Start podcast. But yeah, I followed you in. I backed something else in the race, but I liked your thoughts on that horse. And I was like, no, I'll follow you in here. I have a good crack. And threw as many F bombs at the TV, turned it off, cracked it. People were coming over for New Year's. Was in for a shit mood, shit night, and thought, oh, I'll just check the account. And I'm like, oh, I got paid out. How? Didn't realize I played the extra nudge with another corporate and lost by 0.1. So you get paid out as a winner. So I ended 2022 with a bang, but it was an angry bang. I think I was still shitty at 10 o'clock about the result.
You got done by a nose, but you're still a winner. Wow, yeah. Beautiful.
It's a lesson to learn. Look for your promos, look for your bookmaker, because, there's plenty of promos out there, especially in the orange brand, I will call them.
Yeah, well, thankfully I had a bonus bet with Croatia finishing second. I rolled it over to the last up in Sydney, and Cuban Royale paying $18. Luckily got across the line, and I ended the year with a bang as well. Now, definitely not one that I was putting a tip to anyone with, but thankfully I had a plethora of bonus bets, and I spread a few across the last, and thankfully landed on one.
Yeah, it was a good result for the community. You put that up on the community, so a few people followed you in. And if I wasn't so dirty, knew what I was doing, I would have followed you in as well, because I would have had money in the account, but I didn't think I did. So dirty right up 2022. As I was writing in the community, you can fuck right off 2022. But we brought 23 in with a bang, and we'll go into that later. Talking points this episode. I see Madison. Oh, fucking, it's got me. Madison Lodge have reopened under new management. Liam Howley will move straight in and train out of there. I think it's March. They will be opening. Andrew Forsman will have a satellite stable here from New Zealand. Great to see. If Liam Howley's moving straight in, that must be a good facility. I'd love to see .com go there and show us around. I think they did it maybe 10 years ago, or TVN did it. But yeah, I'd like to see an upgrade to see what they're moving into, because it looks like a nice facility. Good to see it staying within the industry and not someone not in the industry.
No, that's it. And obviously Liam knows the place exceptionally well. So nice to see him back there. He obviously understands the workings of the place and the horses that have been there previously. So look, fingers crossed it'll be a decent operation. Plus also the fact they're going to have these New Zealand horses come across and have a place to stay. So I expect to see a few more New Zealand horses coming across, not just for the Group 1s, but sticking around a little bit longer.
Yeah, it's something we learned from the spring. Andrew Forsman doesn't bring shit horses over. So it'd be good. Obviously, there'll be a tight unit, the New Zealanders, so they might use Andrew Forsman's boxes to come over a bit more. So hopefully we see a few more come over for our spring, because I think it opens in March. So it'll take a while for them to set up and get going. But yeah, good to see it's back in the thing, back in the industry. I thought Robert Hickmock would be $1.01 to go back there, but haven't seen his name mentioned yet. So interesting. I thought he'd be, the first one through the door. Considering he lives there pretty much.
Yes. We'll see how that plays through.
Yeah, bloody oath. Good to see. White Marlin, I was reading just before, it's in for a light autumn. Yes, I say a light autumn for a Gay Waterhouse horse. It's going to be aimed for the Andrew Ramsden, which is a qualifying race for the Melbourne Cup. Flemington must be absolutely over the moon with this news, because their little qualifying race is going to make headlines and potentially going to have a nice horse in the Melbourne Cup qualified. But yeah, it looks like 3 starts only. After that win at Flemington, I think everyone was thinking Group 1s with this horse. But yeah, Gay Waterhouse light campaign does not go in the same sentence for me.
No, it's an interesting one. The big grey White Marlin. I was expecting it to be racing in some group races, but obviously Gay and Adrian have got other plans in place and potentially just looking towards spring.
Yeah, maybe Adrian Bott's taken over. He's running the ship now, which is good. Can't wait to see White Marlin. It'll be interesting to see how he goes, comes back, all those cliches. But yeah, Andrew Ramsden, 2,800 metre qualifying race, been named there. Be good.
Nice.
Might actually get a decent horse qualified for the Melbourne Cup. Anyway, the other talking point, I know this is a broken record, but it's good to see Cranbourne using their initiative here and trying to get more people at the races. Last week, they had a dual code meeting, which was trots and horses. That was on a Friday, kicked off at 4, ended at 11. And they got 5,000 people there. That is a massive crowd for Cranbourne. So pat on the back for them. So they're backed up again this week, $10 entry. And after the last, they got a Billy Joel and Elton John tribute show. So for $10, what could go wrong there? Good on them. They're trying something to get more people out there, and it's clearly working. Where New Year's Day, you paid $20 for the public holiday event, and you got sunburnt for $20, where you didn't get anything for your money. Where Cranbourne, I've got to give them a pat on the back, and it's good to see that they're trying something different.
Absolutely, and hopefully they got an open mic there for you, mate.
Yeah, it could be interesting come race 4. I'll either be booted out or I'll be on stage singing a few tunes for the crowd after some fat results, and you'll see very shortly which ones they are because, we're mainly basing our big bets around Friday night.
Very good, very good. Like it.
Track stats and trial trackers. Hillside rail out 6 metres. Stats tell me horses on speed will be most advantaged here. So I'll be looking for horses top 5 in running. You will be able to win from midfield, but the stats I use tell me forward positioning is the most advantage, which is unlike Hillside. Normally you can win from anywhere, but it's telling me up on speed is where you want to be. Trial trackers this week. We go to Sandown, race 9, number 5, Win Some. Really like these horses jump outs. They were sharp, and I think this horse is ready to rock and roll. First up, we'll jump on the lead speed. Linda Meach on board. Maddie mentioned it with She's Dancers. When she's on a leader, it's always a big tick. So Elle Meach on board, race 9, number 5, Win Some. Price-wise, you can probably, let's have a quick look.
Double digits, I think. About $10.
$15.
There you go.
So there's another little special for the podcast 1x3 play because, I just think it's over the price, especially for a jump out. It's probably the best jump out I've seen for the meeting. So race 9, number 5, Win Some. We'll preview races 1, 3, 7 around the grounds, multi, pineapple of the week. Matty wants to start with a bang for his 2023 with race 1.
That's it, mate. Look, when I picked this race, I thought it was going to be a race between 2, maybe 3. And as I dug a little bit deeper, we found that up front, you're going to have a battle between All Sassed Up and Bistro. Getting the sit will be Fishing. And then you're going to have From Deep, Lon's Delight, and also Capital Theatre. So it definitely wasn't a simple race to review. And if you've got the odds there, we'll go through them.
Yeah, I do, mate. Everything I mention is top odds. So there's so many bookies out there now. So we got Bistro 340, the favourite. Number 6, All Sassed Up, $4. Number 1, Fishing, $4. 4, Capital Theatre, $6.50. The Guava, $10. Lonsdale Light, $21. And Vegas Diva, $41.
Very good. In the top 4 selections, actually had Bistro, who's a favourite, 4th pick. Now, 3 jump outs, can't fault any of them. But what I get a little bit worried about here, Worm, is All Sassed Up. It's going to be pushing Bistro exceptionally hard up front. If there wasn't an All Sassed Up in this field, I would have Bistro in the top 2. Bistro by itself, I can't fault it. But what I don't like is a horse alongside it, pushing it over 1,000 metres. What it does for me is it screams a really solid tempo and an opportunity for horses behind it to pip it across the last 100 metres. If you like Bistro, I'm not going to talk you out of it, but I won't be on it here. Lons to Light. Now back to 1,000 metres after being at 1,100 and 1,400 metres. This horse definitely has ability. It's been in some messy races and getting into trouble in some large fields. Here, only 7 horses, plus the 500 metre straight at Sandown. I think it'll definitely help this horse wind up, and it'll have its opportunity to get over the top, similar to Capital Theatre. It's going to be the second selection. Now, last start at Sandown had a horribly interrupted race. Go back, have a look at it, and you'll just see it got bumped for the first 500 metres. If you can get some clear air, if it can settle, it's got the ability to be winning this race. The on-pace runners of All Sassed Up and Bistro, it will work out perfectly here for Capital Theatre. So I think it's got the ability, and I think the race pattern will play through very nicely here for Capital Theatre. And Fission now. Fission's one that we actually mentioned, or I had it in my notes last week when it was scratched at the Valley over the 1,200 metres. That was my main concern because it hasn't seen any further than 1,000. It's now been nominated at 1,000, which I much prefer. 60 kg. Look, it carried 59 kilos last start and was in the placing. So I'm not too concerned about that. And the main reason being, again, these 2 leaders. Fission's going to have the perfect run in this race. It's probably going to be sitting just behind All Sassed Up and on the outside of Vegas Diva. That's how I see this playing through. Now, if Jamie Mott can hit the go button at the right time, he's got to hit the go button before Lons Delight and Capital Theatre get to its outside. It can't let those horses get to its outside with the 60 kg. It needs to be going to the outside of Bistro and All Sassed Up around about that 250 metre mark to really get going, keep that momentum. So Worm, I've got Fission on top, Capital Theatre, Lons Delight and Bistro. Betting strategy, as I mentioned. Now, it's a bit of a tough race to kick us off, but it's a really intriguing one. My main bet will be on Fission with $60, Capital Theatre 30 and Lons Delight for 10. What were your thoughts there, Worm?
Yeah, mate. When you said race 1 on preview, and I'm like, geez, you go through the whole field and give him a chance, except the bottom one. I know you've written off the Guava, but I agree with you with Fission. Clear fitness edge over these, and I think it being knocked off by a good horse last start, Rich Fortune. Just looking at this prep, it's sat top. It sat 5th and won. It sat 3rd and finished 2nd, and then sat 4th and finished 2nd, beaten 0.1 and 0.3. Now, the 2 bad runs, 11th and 6th. So it's got to sit up on speed. Jamie Mott, smart operator. I think they know now it's got to be up on speed. If they sit up on speed, I think you can throw your 60, make it 100, and make it a clear bet. Bistro's jumped out well. The other one that's jumped out well is All Sassed Up. Thought that both were really good, but its first one, it went the opposite direction at Cranbourne. Now, I don't know why that was. Was it just Cranbourne wanted to go the other way to, help the track out? But I reckon it's been set for a race. I don't know if it's Magic Millions bound or a Magic Millions horse at least. Yeah, weird. Don't know if we look into it that much, but jump outs were good. Capital Theatre beaten by a good horse last start and snapped on a day that was hard to really make ground. Could keep going. The Guava, I think the form reads really well with No Drama, Alpha One, Red Card, and She Dances. And that day they met at Pakenham, Fission and the Guava, and Guava was a good return. Yeah, the SPs were $18 Fission and $31 the Guava. If you want to take anything into that, it was EIPH last start. So you got to forgive. But I think Fission, clear fitness edge. I think we can start off race 1, number 1, with a 1 in front of it and win.
Absolutely. As I said, I am taking on Bistro and All Sassed Up. If the race doesn't play out exactly how we're forecasting it with Bistro and All Sassed Up to be alongside each other, if All Sassed Up takes a sit It may play through slightly differently. So, as I mentioned, if you do like those two horses, I'm not going to talk you out of it. But I just think the way I'm seeing the race, that those two are probably going to be working against each other rather than working with each other.
Yeah. And as I said, up on speed's going to be the place to be. So, yeah, we're going to be the can't even think of the word now. I've been thrown. We'll just move over to race 3 because I'm going to make a dick of myself if I keep talking. Top odds here. We've got the favourite here, Worsfold. It's race 3, benchmark 78, 1,400 metres. Worsfold's favourite, $3. My Yankee Girl, $3. He's exceptional, $5.50. So Risque, $8.50. And Serious Liaison, $20 and 21 plus the rest. As I said last week, guys, our speed maps will be down below so you can see how we think the race will be mapped. I can't see much speed in this race with He's Exceptional. Led for the first time last start and went jumper speed up front. I feel they'll do that again. My Yankee Rose, Worsfold, they'll be giggling right behind them. Could be quite tactical. Who pushes the button first? Does My Yankee Rose keep Worsfold in? Does the leader roll out a bit and give Worsfold the inside run? Good race. We'll find out. But I'm keen here. Number 9, Worsfold. I really liked his win first up. Won easily against easier opposition. But to win by 2.75, that is good enough for me to get involved here. Wouldn't have been near peak fitness, 30 days between runs. That's fine with me. Nick Ryan would have this horse ticking over nicely. Don't think there's any issues with it. Out of that race, the second horse, Seizure, was unlucky at the Valley. Should have pushed the winner, but just couldn't get out at the right time. Fifth horse, Loving Laugh, came out and won next start at Sandown. The big thing I can't get out of my head here is the SP against Mr. Brightside in 2021. Yes, I know it was 2 years ago, but $4.60 against Mr. Brightside. Ran in all the big group ones. We know that. I'm happy to make this a bet. Number 9, Worsfold. Number 3, He's Exceptional. I did say he's going to be leading the race. He was good last start at Flemington. It was hard to lead at Flemington in those circle races. But they went jumper speed up front. Jet Stanley goes on here claiming 3. I now question, does he know what is a good speed to go on a front runner? Because that's what he's going to have to do for this horse to be competitive. But I just can't be with it. Number 4, My Yankee Girl, won the race last start, but lost it in the steward's room. Blake Shin breached the whip rule. Gets Jamie Carr now. Perfect spot. Perfect jockey. Clear danger. Can't talk you out of it. My only concern is I can't assess that 1,400 meter form against the 3-year-olds up against the big boys now or girls. I can't get a line on its 3-year-old form. I'm absolutely scared of the 2X Hong Kong horses here. Their data tells me in Hong Kong, it tells me that he's good enough to win these races. Number 6, that's Monarch of Egypt. Was just fair first up, knuckled to the start, so you got to forgive, but ran nicely considering. And number 7, Serious Liaison. Jump outs were okay without getting excited, but the data tells me that they've run good enough figures to win down here. But keen here to get involved. Number 9, Worsfold. Matty.
Very good. I can see how you've landed on Worsfold there. Nick Ryan, the new trainer. What happened with the handover there?
I don't think it was any. I think my gut feel that N Smart might have stopped training. I haven't seen many horses from him. He might be training, but maybe the ownership just know that they've got a talented horse and he wasn't getting the best out of it. So change of scenery does improve horses, as they say. You can't go wrong going Nick Ryan with tried horses. Him and Gavin Bedgegood are the 2 best at it. So, yeah, I don't think there's much to look into it, but positives for the horse.
Yeah, fair enough. And I do say the previous trainer is still part of the ownership group. So, as you mentioned, I think it's all upside there. Look, the one that I landed on was My Yankee Girl here. I thought it was exceptional last start. Obviously, the over whip with Caviar meant that the protest obviously didn't go its way. But yeah, I can see what you mean against the 3-year-olds versus this field here. I think it's going to be a very interesting race for a benchmark 78. So, look, Worsfold and My Yankee Girl, I know they're both paying about $3 in the market, but I wouldn't be looking too much further. So risque. I didn't mind his last start, but yeah, I wouldn't go looking too much further.
Yeah, nice. Yeah, it'd be interesting to see how the market plays out here because one will firm. Which one it is, I do not know. I can't get my head around it. So, yeah, good race. One of us is going to have a collect, I know for sure, but I don't know which one. But hopefully it's me and for the listeners. WhatsApp. Join the community, guys. As we know, I run a community. Lots of people in it. It's not just about me; it's about you guys as well. Sharing your thoughts within. Plenty of winners come on board. You get our thoughts during it. You know the drill, guys. DM one of us. You will get in straight away via Twitter, Instagram. You can email me at samkennedy14@gmail.com. That's SAMKENNEDY14@gmail.com. Please subscribe to our YouTube channel or podcast platform, whatever one you listen to. Get the episodes as they drop because they don't come online till late at night. So when you wake up fresh Friday morning, ready for the weekend, you can listen to our lovely podcast. Leave a review. Give us 5 stars, 4 stars, whatever you want. Share with your friends, share with your parents, whoever. We'd love to, get around to many people and find winners, more importantly for you guys, because what we do is all free. No paywalls, no nothing. Everything's free to join the community. Come join, please. Have some fun.
And mate, you got the community off to an absolute flyer on New Year's Day.
Yes. So after having a record seconds at Warrnambool at the Maidens, told 2022 to go F itself, and brought in race 1 Flemington, bang, and then we went to Mornington race 1, and we went not so good, and it was like, oh, what have we done? But yeah, we went to Mornington races 2 and 3, and cleaned up. It was a good 2023 start.
Yeah, and the community was well and truly active as well. There were dog bets, there were bets all over the place on New Year's Day, and I think everyone filled their pockets, which was quite a nice way to start the year.
Yeah, we had some dog tips Friday night, I think we did, and we cleaned up there. We had a sick beat in the NBA today. We had a 4-leg multi, and the Lakers somehow beat Miami Heat without LeBron James, Anthony Davis, Lonnie Walker. Miami Heat had a full bloody squad and couldn't beat the Lakers. It's killed us. I'm not over it. My wallet's talking, but my hat's talking. Thank you. But no, come join. There's dog tips. There's NBA tips. There's horses tips. There's trot tips. And with the footy season going to get starting in a couple of months, I'm pretty sure we're going to be having a lot of football bets and even EPL bets. Hopefully, you know who I'm talking to. And I know if you're listening, you need to pull your finger out, pal. Race 7 here, where I'm going to preview this one. And we've got the favourite here, Tasman Park, 420, River Plate, 440, The Nephew, 610, Desperado, $8, Independent Road, $8.50, Harbour Master, $8.50, and you can have $14 the rest. As you can see in the speed map down below, I have 3 horses fighting for the lead here, and I feel none of them will want to hand up, which means the pace might be on here. River Plate, Huguenot, and We Take Manhattan, both going to fight it out. It's a long straight, but I just can't see one of them wanting to hand up. They want to lead. Pace will be good. In saying that, I'm keen to be with number 4, The Nephew here, back 200 metres from last start. I feel it's the perfect distance for this horse. At the 800-metre mark, it had to take off, didn't have a bum to follow, and he was wide, especially 7 lengths off the leader at the 800. This was a day you had to be right up there to win. The first 3 horses in running were the first 3 horses home. It was wide at the 800-metre mark, died on its run with 100 metres to go. That won't be happening this time around with barrier 4. Should be no worse than midfield. Cam Wheeler goes on, claiming the 2 down to 60. He's a strong rider for me, and Cam should put this in a nice spot. Form reads with Aaron Bay, and right you are. I think it reads really well for this. The other horse I'm keen to get involved here, the little speck and a saver, is number 6, Harbour Town. It's a horse that needs to be thrown in your quaddies, especially. Loves fast tempo races and has won 2 out of 3 fast tempo races. The last start was on the Lakeside on a fast tempo. On a day you need to be on pace, and this horse came from last to win and wide. Good win, $8. I think we can get better come race time, but keen to have a saver on that. 2 horses I'm keen to take on here is number 3, Tasman Park, and number 7, River Plate. Tasman Park hasn't done anything on the clock for me to get excited about and could be out near last in running. River Plate, it's had its chance to win last start, but wasn't good enough. Been in 3 races that bias has suited this horse and being fast tempos. I think this horse will be cooked. Yes, the bias might be very handy for this, but I think 3 fast tempo races in 3 starts, I think it's had enough and we can take it on. You can call this the Hamburglar with a lot. We'll back 1 and we'll lay 2. Keen number 4 here, the Nephew, to win at around $6. Matty.
Well, I'm interested on Tasman Park, one of the favourites or second favourites in this. I see Jamie Mott has ridden it for the last 3 starts, built a nice little picket fence. However, doesn't find himself on Tasman Park within this race. Is on number 9, Huguenot.
Yeah, it's a weird one because it's fair enough, 62 you want to claim, but top weight is going to be 61, bottom weight's going to be 58 and a half. So, geez, not knocking Hannah Edgley here. She's going really well as an apprentice, claiming 3, good weight relief. But I don't know. Maybe they thought it was going to be a big field and big spread amongst the weights, but it hasn't come that way. So I wouldn't think Mott's been sacked at all after being 3B3, but you can't really kick the jockey off once you've appointed it. So
no, that's it. No, quite happy to be on the Nephew here. Blinkers on first time. I think it's quite well suited. So happy to be with you on the Nephew.
Yeah, no, good race. Can't wait to see what. Hopefully, Camera Willer, nice strong jockey. Put him in a nice spot, please. Around the grounds, Matty.
Yeah, mate, we'll start in Melbourne. As I previously mentioned, this is before knowing what your tips were. I had my Yankee Girl on top at $3. As we know, the whip protest last start. What I do like is the Dance to Dubai form. It fits in exceptionally well here. Worst Folden, So Risque are the key dangers, but I'm happy to be with Yankee Girl in race number 3. We'll head to race number 8. Pesto, around about that $10 mark. Now, this is one that I've had in my black book for a very long time. Hasn't really found its right race, but what this horse does like is the big tracks. Sandown, 500 metres straight. It's going to sit midfield. It's going to build into the race really nicely. Third up, it's a huge chance. So, Worm, I will be on Pesto at around that $10 mark in race number 8. Now, did you have any around the grounds in Melbourne?
I did. Go back to Pesto. Did you back? I reckon you made this a bet in June for the community or for the podcast too.
There you go. I probably did. I haven't backed it for a while.
No, but geez, that form reads well. Maserati Bay, Saracen Knight. We know what they both did. Then has form around Nugget and Right You Are. Like
it's a really honest horse.
If they don't come for this horse, it doesn't start the price it is. So back it now because it should be starting single digits. My around the grounds, we're going to go Friday. So if you listen to this Friday, you're going to have a fill up. If you listen to it Saturday, sorry. We're going to go to stall race 1, number 2, Rich Glow. Really like these horses jump out. Should be right up there and running. Barrier 2 should suit because stall, you're going to have to be right up there. If you back them wide, you will not be winning at stall. Barrier 2, just I think it's Johnny Allen on board. Just jump right behind those leaders or lead and, shown a real sharp turn of foot in its jump outs. And, the community's on with confidence is the word I'll say. Then we'll move to Cranbourne Night Meeting, race 4, number 9, Ivan's Hero. If you haven't seen these jump outs, don't bother. Trust me, these were impressive. Should have won start 1. We were on it. Sickening. I still don't know how it didn't go past them, but this will be winning Friday night. 2 lovely jump outs. Go see them on the .com website. It's come back well. And barrier 1, Mick D, he's going to have to be either leading, because if he's sitting right behind them, he might get stuck in the coffin. So hopefully he leads. That is race 4, number 9, Ivan's Hero, and stall race 1, number 2, Rich Glow.
Well, mate, just while we're on Friday night, I'm going to head up to Canterbury.
Right.
Now, 6 p.m, we're going to kick off the weekend with an absolute bang. Citizenship. First up for Mara and Eustace, J-Mac on board. Look, I'm quite interested to hear your thoughts on this. You're the trial tracker expert. Done all the trials down in Victoria, and they send it up to New South Wales. Now, is that just so J-Mac can be on board? Interested to hear your thoughts. Also, interested to see if you've watched any of its jump outs.
Oh, you're going to have to take more credit here, because you're the one that put me onto this. I don't know how I haven't seen this one until you mentioned it, but yes, its jump outs are impressive. I thought Ivan's Heroes were impressive. These are better. Interesting that I think I know why they've done what they've done. Coolmore owned. I think it's owner driven to get it up to Sydney, because they have an alliance with J-Mac to ride them. So I think they just want J-Mac to ride it, because they've got a stable up there too. But no jump outs going Sydney way. That's the only concern. But if it brings those jump outs, this is a gap job.
Yep, no, they were impressive. Now, what you do need to remember is it is a 2-year-old, so anything can happen. Currently $2. I'd be taking it 3-year-old.
3-year-old.
There you go. A little bit more confident. Still, $2. How I played this one is I'm building into quite a few multis across the weekend, rather than just playing it straight out. But confident that it will get the job done.
Yeah, I liked his last 100 where he looked like he was in trouble, and his speed is just, I can't even think of the word. It's frightening.
Yeah, go back and watch the 5th of December, I think it was. Go back and have a look at that trial or jump out. That's the one that's really turned my attention to this horse.
Yeah, it's last 100 where it looks like it could either go backwards and no good, and it just finds another leg. And I don't even know if it's going too quick for its own good, but I can't wait for 6 o'clock. Multi-time. I'm going to chuck in only one this week. It's Gold Coast Race 6, Orlentia, the win. It's $1.80, $1.70 at the moment. Been 2 good wins up in the Brisbane. Sectionals inside top 10 for the meeting. Good numbers. I know we're not getting a price, but the community's on at 29s for the 3-year-old guinea. So please, punting gods, give us strength. Needs to win to get in. So I think this might be a old-fashioned setup. Have a look at the track before next week. And, yeah, fingers crossed. So that's Gold Coast Race 6, Orlentia, the win. Matty, you're chucking in?
Pesto, the place, as we've been through. I think you're probably getting around about between 3 and 350 at the moment, somewhere around that. It won't last too long. I think it'll probably start around about the $7 mark, which will mean you'll probably get around about $2.50 for a place. Citizenship for the win will be also included. As I mentioned, I'll be building into a few of my multis across the weekend too.
So that comes to $10, 3-leg multi, Orlentia, Pesto, the place, and Citizen, the win, $10. So that'll, it's a nice result. Three from 3, $10. But gamble responsibly, of course. Pineapple of the week. So you talk about having a multi with Citizenship. I'm going to go one better, and you're not having it in the multi. You can back this straight out. Canterbury, race 1, number 2, Citizenship, 2 lovely jump outs. I think bloody hell, they were good. 3-year-old unraced, J Mac on board, tick. Kick Friday night off with a bang, as you said, Matty. Take the $2 because I think this could start at $1.60 come race time. So that's Canterbury, race 1, number 2. To everyone that's listening Friday, you're going to have a fill up. I feel sorry for the people that tune in Saturday morning because it's going to be a fat Friday.
Very nice. No, I don't mind it. Yeah, look, it's not too often you see these types running around on a Friday night. So yeah, we'll definitely take this one and run to the bank.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how we fare Friday night because it could be we could be looking for the floaties trying to stay afloat because we could be drowning or we could be on a cruise ship enjoying ourselves. Anything else to add, Matty?
No, mate, nothing else to add. It's a interesting race meet at Sandown. Quite looking forward to it, and our attention will head up north very, very quickly.
Yeah. Magic Millions next Saturday, so we'll be looking. Hopefully, we can find a few winners up there because it can throw up some fat results up in the Gold Coast. So
yeah, big fields up there.
Yeah, big fields and very laney sort of areas at that track. But we'll dissect that and find you plenty of winners. More importantly, hopefully we fill your pockets up or you fill yourself pockets up and have a fat weekend. We will be back next week for Magic Millions Day or weekend, whatever you want to call it. And we'll just sign off as we've done in 2022 and we'll sign off with 2023 with our favourite man.
I'm not a good person, but it just goes to show that good things do happen to bad people. So anyone out there who's up against the wall, fucking stick to it. Every cent you got, your rent, your electricity bill, if you're going to buy your missus a ring, don't fucking do it. Keep punting. Keep fucking punting.